Hi everyone. Before we go into part 2 of understanding dividends, I felt it was necessary to make this video first and share one of the most important, powerful dividend strategies. At first glance, the strategy might look minor or insignificant, but it can have a huge impact. If you look at the winner as an example of the Masters golf tournament, they didn't just wake up one morning and suddenly become a champion. That level of success was built through thousands of small decisions, hours of practice, and mastering the little things that most people never see. And investing works the same way. There isn't usually one magic strategy that makes someone wealthy. It's understanding the small techniques, applying them consistently, and letting those good decisions compound over time. This strategy may be the difference between winning the championship and not. Are you ready to become a champion? So let's go. Welcome to the Money channel, where we take the mystery out of money. Today's video is one building block in our Wealth Foundation series, part of our wealth building system, because learning the financial fundamentals is where real wealth building starts. If finance has ever bored or confused you, or you've missed things along the way, you're in the right place. I'm not here to make you love money. I'm here to help you make it work for you, because if I can do it, so can you. So let's get smarter about money and get it working. This video is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. You must learn before you earn. Before I dive into this strategy, it is important for me to share one thing that makes understanding this strategy even more powerful. I want to share the stock price for 10 days of two companies, Nvidia and Disney. Just two random popular stocks that I happen to like. What do you notice about these stocks? They go up and they go down. Why? One of the things I've learned about investing is that people want everything to work mathematically. They want investing to look like an Excel spreadsheet. Put the numbers in, hit enter, and everything comes out in nice little rows. But the stock market doesn't work that way. There are variables everywhere, and stock prices can move dramatically, even when the underlying company hasn't changed very much. Did Disney or Nvidia change from what they were doing? I bet not. That's what drives a lot of investors crazy, because they want certainty. But investing involves uncertainty. Believe it or not, that uncertainty creates opportunity. Oh, okay, here comes a wealth nugget. Investors need to become comfortable with prices fluctuating in the market. Why? Because they have no control over it. The market will fluctuate. So the faster you get used to it, the better of an investor you will become. If you're an investor, especially in dividends, you've probably heard this advice. Turn on the drip. Let your dividends automatically reinvest. Set it and forget it. And for a lot of investors, that's exactly what they do. I used to do it too, but I don't do it anymore. I do something totally different that made me a lot more money over the years. I call it BDS, the buying down strategy. Instead of automatically reinvesting dividends the moment it hits my account, I hold that money and wait to strike. And I put that money back to work when I wanna. I'm not saying drip is bad. Drip can be a very good strategy, especially for someone who wants investing to be completely automatic. But once I became more experienced as an investor, I realized something. I didn't want an automatic system deciding what price I was going to pay. So today I'm going to show you why I turned off drip and why I turned on BDS. First, let's make sure we understand DRIP. DRIP stands for Dividend Reinvestment Plan. Let's say one of your investments pays you a dividend. Instead of putting that dividend into your account as cash, the DRIP automatically takes the money and buys more shares of that investment. Sounds pretty good, and it can be. It's simple, it's automatic, you don't have to think about it, and it keeps your money invested. But there's something else you need to understand. DRIP doesn't care about the price. If the investment is expensive that day, DRIP buys. If it's fairly valued, DRIP buys. If it's cheap, DRIP buys. The computer doesn't care because DRIP knows instructions. Its instruction is dividends come in, buy more shares, period. DRIP is essentially a form of automatic dollar cost averaging. And dollar cost averaging is a legitimate investment strategy. You're buying at different prices over long periods of time, sometimes high, sometimes low, sometimes in the middle, and over time, you're averaging those purchases together. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that strategy. But here's where my thinking changed. I started asking myself, why does the money have to be invested immediately? Why can't the dividend come into my account, sit there as cash, and let me decide when the best opportunity is? Okay, here's another wealth nugget. I stopped thinking about automatic reinvestment and started thinking about intentional reinvestment. That's the difference. DRIP is automatic, BDS is intentional. Here's how I personally did it. I turned the DRIP off. My dividends now come into my investment account as cash. Maybe it's 25, then another 40, 75, another 100, and gradually that money starts accumulating. Now I have the buying power sitting in my account. Let's dig into BDS using this simple graphic example. In step 1, you own one share at $20, so your average cost is $20. In step 2, you get some cash and you notice that the share price went down to $18 and you buy. Now you own 2 shares. The average cost is now $19. So you have driven your cost down from $20 a share to $19. That is called buying down. Step 3, you want to buy even more shares. On the first day, you buy one at $17. The next day, even though it went up, you still wanted to buy, so you paid $21. Then the next day, you bought at $17. And the day after that, you bought at $18. Now, if you add everything together and average it, the cost is now $18.50. Again, this is buying down, even though you paid a little bit more on one day. By far, this is one of the most powerful buying techniques that are out there. Okay, here's another wealth nugget. You don't have to put all that money back into the investment that paid you the dividend in the first place. I look at the investments I own and look for a good buy. Where is my best opportunity right now? A DRIP would have already invested those dividends automatically as they were paid. But with BDS, I get to choose what and when I want to buy. That's buying down. I want to make something extremely clear. Buying down does not mean the stock dropped, so buy more. Absolutely not. Sometimes stocks go down because something is seriously wrong. A stock that's down 40% isn't automatically a bargain. Sometimes it's down because it deserves to be down 40%. That's why I have some basic rules for BDS. Rule number 1, I already own that investment. I'm not buying something simply because it's cheap. Rule number 2, the fundamental reason I own it has not materially changed. I still believe in the investment. Rule number 3, the current price gives me a better opportunity than my other choices. That's important because I might own 10 different investments. One of them might be down 3%, another might be down 12%, but that doesn't automatically mean I buy the one that's down 12%. I still have to look at the why. BDS requires you to think, and that's exactly the point. Maybe you've heard the old saying, buy the dip. Cash sitting in your account gives you the ability to buy the dip. Let's take a look again at NVIDIA. If you notice on the 7th compared to the 14th, the price difference is actually 5%. 5% in a week. That's a big deal. That's a big change. These little things and understanding BDS along the way can make you a champion and earn you financial freedom. Always remember, cash is king because you're in a position to buy when things might be on sale. I think it's really fun to talk about the psychology a little bit about BDS. And this is where I think it becomes especially powerful. It starts changing the psychology of investing for you. When you're a new investor and the market drops, your first reaction might be, oh no, I'm losing money. What should I do? Should I sell? But once you have dividends accumulating and you have buying power available, you start looking at the market declines differently. Instead of saying, oh no, my investment dropped 10%, you start saying, oh great, today is a buying day. It's all on sale. That's a completely different mindset. You're no longer automatically afraid of volatility. You're learning how to evaluate it, and you're asking the questions that I mentioned earlier. This is one of the biggest psychological changes I think an investor can make. I did it. So can you. When I was younger and less experienced as an investor, I used DRIP. And it served a purpose. It kept me investing. It kept the money working. And it removed decisions that I probably wasn't ready to make. But as I learned more and gained more experience, I wanted more control. Why? Because nobody cares more about your money than you do. I don't want the calendar deciding when my dividends were reinvested. I wanted the opportunities that were out there and let me decide when to buy them. And that's why today I turned off the DRIP and turned on the BDS. Dividends come in, cash accumulates, I evaluate my investments, I look for opportunities. When I find it, I put that money back to work. That's the buying down strategy. And there's a bigger lesson here than just DRIP versus BDS. As you become a better investor, I want you to become more comfortable making decisions. DRIP, of course, can automate your investing. BDS makes you participate in it. And for me, that's the difference. DRIP lets the calendar decide when you invest. BDS lets you decide when and what to buy. Turn off the DRIP, turn on the BDS, and start looking for opportunities to buy down. And let's get smarter about money, and let's get it working. Hey, here's a news flash. Nobody cares more about your money than you do. So many people say, I wish they would have taught me that in school. But it's not too late. I'm here to help. I hope you got a few things out of this episode. And remember, let's get smarter about money and get it working. Hey, see you next time.